involved, and that includes the individual doing the shooting. With regards to the other kind of dynamics of, again, what played out in what particular order, that's something that we're still working on. We don't believe that there's any sort of danger to the public. And again, these three individuals did know each other, so there was no indication that this is a stranger who was involved with another group of people.
What about the age individuals, Ben?
Currently, the ages are all being withheld right now, but I would all say that they're middle-aged males.
Can you talk about the status of the neighborhood? We understand this is going to go on for hours more. How many homes are displaced here?
I'm about to say the exact number of homes I don't necessarily know. We are talking about a number of different residents that are not only across the street but also adjacent. And as you can tell, this is not exactly a very quiet street. There's still plenty of traffic that's going back and forth. So for those folks who don't live in the area, we are asking if they can find a different way to get to businesses. If they can just come in, again, you've got very different spots that you can approach. Try to stay away from this particular section. There's a question over here. Let me answer one and then go back to, or whoever had it over here.
Third person cooperating with police, and then can you say if any of those individuals were residents of 90?
I can say that the third individual, again, has been identified, and we're speaking with many different witnesses right now. With regards to who lived where, I think that's something that we're also trying to get a clear indication of what the listed residences were for all of the people involved.
And can you say the nature of their relationship?
I can just say that the three of them knew each other. The full nature of the relationship is something that we're still exploring at this time.
Can you tell us what was happening in Dwight Avenue in relation to this?
In Dwight Avenue?
No, that's what I've seen. Is that where the third individual was?
Well, with regards to Dwight Avenue, I don't have any comments on that in particular.
There was an awful heavy police presence here, and they were awfully careful going in and out of the house. Was there concern over ordnance, explosives, other weapons that kept it to a very careful processing of the scene?
No concerns necessarily with explosives or other ordnance, but there's always a concern when going into a private residence with regards to what's going on inside, and also you may have a number of individuals. Sometimes, I know in past instances, not necessarily here, with children, dogs, there are other people there. You try to be as the least disruptive as possible while making sure that public safety is ensured.
And the first person that was found deceased here, was that a gunshot victim?
Yes, gunshot.
Okay. And then the third person that you're still looking for that third person, is that right?
No, the third person has been identified.
Identified. You know where that person is?
Yes.
You're not saying if that person's in custody. You're not
No,
saying.
no. Again, nobody has been charged or arrested with any crime
So
connection
all the
here.
activities take place right there on Point Plain.
That's correct.
Can you give us any sense of what this was about? Was this a domestic? Was this drug-related?
And unfortunately, I don't have that answer yet. There's always a difference between I don't know and I can't tell you. This is one of those situations where I don't know, we don't know. The real nature of the relationship between those three people, we're just starting to drill down to what that is. And once we know that, we'll be in a better position to answer that question.
So is the murder where have been police at the home before, and that they've had these neighbors have had issues with those people?
I don't know with regards to the history of individuals there. That's something I don't have personal knowledge about, so I couldn't answer. Go ahead.
Has the murder weapon been recovered, and how many shots were fired?
Those are also two things that I believe that we have located a weapon that we're looking into. I do not know with regards to the number of shots.
And where's
Just to
the
be
third
clear,
now?
just to be clear, two people were shot, and you have a third person in custody.
Nope, there's nobody who is in custody or has been charged with a crime with regards to this. The third person has been identified, and again, we're speaking with many different witnesses. Go ahead.
I was going to ask that. So the third person is not in custody?
Third individual, no, nobody is in custody or has been arrested with a crime here.
Chief, can we just ask you about the lockdown? People who were market basket used up the microphone. They said that they were in lockdown for an hour, like they were literally locked into these businesses. Can you talk about?
You can answer that, Chief, if you'd like.
Lockdown. I mean,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so while we were attempting to identify the third party, out of an abundance of caution, we did request that stores in the immediate vicinity lockdown.
so that meant like, I mean, people like 100 people. I mean, employees, shoppers were asked to do what in the store while you were searching?
Remain inside the store.
Can you just talk about something like this happening in broad daylight in Seabrook, New Hampshire?
It's certainly not something that we respond to frequently, but it does happen.
Thanks,
You guys
Chief.
say
Go
that
ahead.
There were a number of witnesses. Were there other people in the home at the time of the incident?
Something very, typical with what we do with all investigations is we'll do what's called a neighborhood canvass, be able to knock on everybody's door and find out what they've seen or what they've heard. I imagine that there's a number of people, sometimes people like to share comments online or do otherwise. If anyone has seen anything, we do ask them that they speak with police officers and let us know. I had a question over here.
Yeah, we
19.
see a video of a man in a red shirt in handcuffs at the scene. Is that a person? Was that person arrested? How did they handcuff?
I'm not aware of anybody in a red shirt and handcuffs at this point in time. I'll have to try to find that information out for you.
So you're still looking for a suspect?
No, at this point we believe that we've identified all the people that are involved.
No one's been charged.
We have no indication, again, that there's a threat to the public or that there's somebody running around out there. We don't believe that to be the case.
But if you don't have someone in custody and there's been a murder here, where is that person?
That's something that, again, we're speaking with many different witnesses. We try to find out everybody who's there, trying to find out what they saw and what their participation was, if anything. So, unfortunately, I don't have more answers at this time. Again, we should have some more answers tomorrow after we have an autopsy. That should be in the morning. I don't know if that will start exactly at 8. It could be as late as 9. So, thank you, guys.
Second person to survive?
I always hope that the second person survives in something like this, but I don't. All I know is that they're in critical condition. So, thank you. Yes.
So New Hampshire officials updating what is still a scene with some murky details in Seabrook, New Hampshire. Our Louisa Moeller on the scene says the New Hampshire AG says they're investigating a double shooting on Boynton Lane in Seabrook. One man found dead, another shot in critical condition, a third reported to have run away from the scene. No one in custody at the moment, but we will have updates on this story throughout the afternoon and, of course, on WBZ News at 5 o'clock.